Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by for another video. My name is Josh and I am just your average Joe day trader. Hey, today I want to share with you a little bit about what's going on in the market, in the news, what positively affected the market today, and what negatively affected the market today. It's June 26th, Thursday. It's just after 4 o'clock. The market closed about 20 minutes plus ago, and it was a good day for the market. A lot of things were taking off and launching. A lot of different tech stock stuff was going on and some news that affected that. Overall, a very good day. S&P 500 really performing today. New record high today, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But first, obviously, the positive things that are going on in the news for us today are, number one, this de-escalation of the Middle East and the tensions that wrap around it. You know, we have this very fragile ceasefire between Israel and Iran right now, and it continues to hold, which is great. I expected to wake up this morning and kind of look at the news and see, we're going a couple days here and what potentially is going to happen. Well, as of right now, the ceasefire agreement is actually holding and taking place. And that is helping the market, because even though the market didn't really care that this whole conflict was taking place, as you saw the market reacting really not much down to, missiles flying left and right and all around. But the sentiment right now, the positive sentiment of this ceasefire is holding, is contributing to this continuation of the S&P 500. We also had a very strong performance today in the tech sector. Now, if you've watched my many videos before, I love and live in the tech sector, primarily NVIDIA, BBAI, APLD, my number one favorite. Okay, these are just examples, Palantir, of stocks that I love to trade in, whether they're long-term holds for me or day trading. But those tech stocks, they're all surrounded relating to artificial intelligence, which is a huge thing. And I actually have some other information about artificial intelligence that I'm going to share with you guys in another video. But today specifically about the news and how the market reacted. So we'll get to that in another video. Tune in for the next one about AI. But this AI demand, the surge in AI demand, is continuing to boost its shares and contributing to all the market gain that we're seeing in that sector, along with the S&P 500, which is driven a lot by this tech sector. We also saw in earnings, if you play earnings with me, Micron Technology reported very strong earnings today, which was driven by surging AI demands. And it did boost its shares today, which of course also contributed to market gains. And then Trump, and this is the one that gets me, guys. I'm just going to be totally straightforward with you. You hear me talk about Jerome Powell, the Fed chair. I don't love the guy. Okay. It's not political. Maybe it's more personal. I just feel like every time the guy gets up in front of the podium, the stock market goes for a run down and literally crashes. I know that's dramatic. But he doesn't like to play. He's not playing ball, right? I don't think he's on the same field with everybody else. He's doing his own thing. So Trump actually says that he's considering naming the successor, the new Fed chair, early. And I just think that's hysterical because the guy hasn't even said he's leaving, announced he's leaving, said, hey, I'm retiring, anything. And Trump's already looking for this potential change in leadership at the Federal Reserve and possibly towards someone that would be more more open to interest rates, interest rate cuts. And that's fueling a lot of speculation and is, of course, positively impacting certain sectors within the stock market. And then we've got some negative news to kind of talk about a little bit too. There's a mixed market performance, right? So while some indexes saw gains, specifically tech, there are others like the Dow Jones Industrial Average that are closed in the red, which shows you there is still this mixed feeling, in overall in the market. And we're going to look at that on the charts in a couple minutes. Back to Fed Chair Jerome Powell, he reiterated a cautious approach to interest rate cuts, citing potential tariff-related inflation risks, which tempered enthusiasm for immediate rate reductions. And then the underperformance of certain sectors. So some of the sectors that didn't perform well today, consumer staples, real estate stocks, those are among the biggest losers of the day today. And then this whole tariff thing continues to just stay a thorn in the side for many. Not a thorn in the side for me, because if you think about this for a minute, right, let's look at the tariff issue. So go big or go home. This is sort of what I have always been saying. Go big or go home. President Trump, like him or not, if you don't like him, it's personal. There's something personal there why you don't like him, and that's okay. You're allowed to have your opinion. I have my opinion. This is not a political channel. I'm not going to tell you who I vote for or who I care about, Democratic, Republican, liberal. It doesn't matter to me. I make money in the market every day because of the stock market, not because of the politicians or who's in the White House. But think about this for a second. So President Trump puts these tariffs in place, and what he says is, okay, I want 80% tariffs from everybody. Okay, whatever it may be. And everybody stresses out about it. And hey, they agree to give us 10%. Every country says, hey, we're going to give you 10%. Now, this is very hypothetical, but every country says, hey, we're going to give you 10%. In some of this hypothetical, there's some reality, there's some truth. So while we're now getting 10%, maybe not the agreement Trump put out there, he swung for the stars, right? Mike Tyson always said that everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. And then the plan is not real anymore because you just got punched in the face. So Trump says, like, hey, I want 500 million% tariffs on every country. And those countries come back and say, that's absurd. We'll give you 10%. Okay. Well, we were getting zero. So now we're getting an estimated $3 billion back in these 10% tariffs from countries that agree to pay 10%. Whereas we said, okay, we want 5 billion%. No, we'll give you 10%. Well, guess what we were getting before? Zero. But there's still this tension surrounding the tariffs, the uncertainty of it. And I'm not going to lie, I have concerns about it too. We don't have any, real finality in everything, but the date is coming where countries are going to have to step it up or step off. And we're waiting to see what's going to happen with that. And obviously it's creating potential hikes, in areas of the stock market that are not good for us. So let's wait and see what happens with that. Tesla also is experiencing a declining poor sales situation in the European Union, which also affects our stock market. Tesla was on this amazing run up. They hit over 300, almost $360 per share. I think it's somewhere in the 320s or 30s. But overall, it is causing opportunities for stock market, going down a little bit in Tesla stock. And then FedEx stock dropped, right? So FedEx's gloomy earnings forecast, which attributed in part to the impact of tariffs on shipments from China, and it did cause its stock to decline. So now FedEx is in a low. But what do I always say now, guys? What do I tell you about FedEx? I'm not sure the price point of FedEx. We can take a look at FedEx here in a minute and see what is FedEx price point. Maybe it's an opportunity to buy into FedEx while it's on a down. Buy the dip, sell the high. Maybe that's where FedEx is. I don't know. We're going to have to take a look at it. But overall, guys, the market is continuing to show a trend that is recovering from this April tariff-induced slump, with the S&P 500 nearing a record high today. And we're going to have to continue to sort of see what happens with that, while we also consider the fact that there's these challenges with tariff uncertainty, potential interest rate shifts, and this mixed economic data suggesting that the markets do remain susceptible to volatility. So let's go to the charts and see what does that look like for us today. So you see the S&P 500, first of all, is sitting at right now $611.87. Or as it said, if you listen to the news, they're over 6,118 points right now. Now, I want you guys to understand for a minute, this is record high for the S&P 500, record high. So my trading advice, not financial advice, is anytime you're looking at a stock that you're considering buying into it, you want to understand support and resistance levels, you look to the left. We always say, look to the left, guys. Look to the left and see what the stock's doing. So when we say look to the left, that's when you go here and you have to go as far as you can to the left. Now, I'm going to make this easy for you. And I thought this was kind of cool because I looked at this earlier today. I'm going to go to the weekly chart. Okay. So now we're in the weekly chart and I want you guys to see record high. Okay. $612.31 today. It hit $612.31, 6,123 points. Okay. And if you run all the way to the left, look to the left. Let's keep going. Okay. Look at this. This high, $119.86 in 2007. Let's go back a little bit here this way because I don't want to just go straight to to that. $335 in October 2022. Now, let's go all the way to the beginning of time for the S&P 500. All the way to the beginning of time. Guys, look at this. The S&P 500 started on January 29th, 1993 at $32.87. And it ran all the way up here over time. $55, 1997, $74 in 1997. Okay, we continue. 1999, $100. It hit $100, 1999, right? And you just keep going. $612 today. Record high for the S&P 500. And many of the companies that I love to trade in, tech stocks, guys, APLD, NVIDIA, Palantir, CoreWeave, right? BBAI, all these AI companies, all these chip companies, AMD, making money hand over fist. And if you are doing it right, you're making money hand and fist. If you're not making money in these tech stocks daily, guys, you're doing something wrong. Okay. Go look at my support and resistance video. Go follow some of the candlestick training videos. Drop me a comment and let me know. Ask me a question. Would love to talk to you. Would love to help you. I don't charge people for any type of counseling. I don't even really do counseling. As a trader, one trader to another, I'd love to help. I'd love to answer your questions. Drop me a comment and let me know what your questions may be or what you're looking for. What kind of help can I help and provide? And on that note, we are and have created a Discord, Average Joe Day Trade Discord. And the invites haven't been sent out yet, but I'm just going to throw it out there to all my subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribers being here. I think last I looked, we had 79 subscribers. That's awesome. And I want to continue to grow this community together so we can learn together, grow together, get rich together. Back to the charts. Okay, so let's get off the S&P 500. Let's go to the Average Joe Day Trade best day trade stocks. Look at this, guys. All right, and obviously I'm in the weekly chart. Let's get off the weekly chart and apologize for all the lines and everything on there. Let's go back to 15 minutes. That's where I love to live. Look here, guys. Look at what a beautiful day we had for Serve Robotics today. Candlewick opened the market today. It had, from market close last night, it never quit. Okay, it ran down yesterday. Yesterday was a really tough day for the whole market. Ran down. Market opened up in the pre-market. This is 4 p.m. when the market closed. It turned around and it just started running from 4 p.m. through the 8 o'clock hour, 8 p.m. through 4 a.m. Continued on its up, continued up all the way up to here. So you could have traded this, say, starting at 4 a.m. Okay, and I'm trying to get to the 4 a.m. number. Here we go, 4:15, 4 a.m. Potentially could have got into this thing at $10.46 and ran it up to a high today, all the way high today of $11.54. Pretty good, guys. Serve Robotics. Ford, same thing. Look at Ford. Beautiful run up today. Okay, Ford doesn't typically create as much revenue, much money. Okay, but potentially could have gotten in at 10.50 and ran this all the way up here to 10.65. All right, so like I told you, it's only 15 cents per share, but it's not as volatile as a lot of the other stocks. It's an easy one to trade. And if it's on an upward trend, pretty much you know it's going to continue on an upward trend for the day. And it did today. APLD, my favorite. In it every day, make money in it every day. Love APLD. It had, it opened up green, had a bit of a horizontal, and then launched. By 12:30, right about lunchtime, when the market is down and somewhat quiet and dead, boom, it took off and it launched. And it went from $9.85 all the way to a wick high of $10.69, closed at 10.56, sitting at 10.53. I love APLD, guys. Love APLD. I even made my own video just on APLD to teach you all about who APLD is, and you should watch it. And I probably need to do an update video now that there's the stuff going on with CoreWeave as tenants. GTX. Okay, this is the one I always tell you about. Garrett Motion that creates turbo boosters and things like that for vehicles. Had a great day today. Okay, 10.06 opening, ran all the way up to, let's see, $10.33. Not bad. Another one that's not too volatile. SoundHound, which is my second favorite behind Serve Robotics, but the star number one all-time APLD. SoundHound also had some great opportunities in there to make some money. And hoping you guys got into some of these because yesterday was a down day. I know many of the people I trade with were sitting on the sidelines saying, yeah, if it's down today, potentially if it starts with a down tomorrow, it may not be a money making day. As soon as the market opened and everybody saw the pre-market, everybody knew today was going to be an upward mobile day, and it did. S&P 500 itself, okay? IAG, this is the gold one. IAG also had some good opportunities to make some money. CX, Cemex Cement, beautiful run up today, guys. Pretty much continued all day long. You got in around here, 673, ran it all the way up here to the high of 688. Not bad. BBAI. Okay, now guys, I told you yesterday that I got in BBAI as a long-term hold. I did. I have several accounts, E-Trade, Robinhood. I bought BBAI. I also bought BBAI on here and decided yesterday, although I wanted to wait and kind of sit it out for a while and just let both accounts run, I couldn't. I day traded it yesterday and I made a nice profit on it yesterday. And look at today. I thank you, day traded it again today. And I know a lot of people don't like BBAI, but BBAI's got something coming. I shared it with you in my last video. They've quadrupled their budget for R&D, for research and development. Companies don't do that unless there's something going on that's being requested of them. They also have increased their potential orders by over 31%. Same thing. Companies don't just do that out of the blue. So there's something going on with BBAI, and I'm excited to watch it and see how it grows. $4.83 this morning, guys. Closed at $5.80, but the wick high today was $5.89. You had the potential to go almost a full dollar today. Okay, what could 1,000 shares of BBI have done for you guys today? Obviously, made you $1,000. So hopefully you guys were watching that. SLDB. Now SLDB is kind of running opposite, and it's done that 2 days in a row. Yesterday, most everything ran down all day. SLDB ran up most of the day. Today, it responded, had a huge opening candle. Okay, opened at $4.99, went all the way up to $5.20, and then it did this slow progression down until late in the afternoon. And about 2 o'clock, it did its climb back up. So you could have two really nice opportunities. First, when it opened, sniped it, and then later, $4.49, ran it all the way up to $4.82. Nice opportunity to make some money in SLDB today. Grab, which I told you guys is like this new Korean, Japanese, Uber, delivering food, all those things. Another opportunity today, less volatile. You'd have to be careful with this one because you can see it's just running here at a level of resistance. But it ran up this morning. It had a low open 416, low of 460, and ran up potentially to this point here, 470. So a 10-cent swing. Not a lot of money in it when you're trading it, but when you pick the ones that are slow movers because of the volatility, just to make some money, that's what you're going to have. Less of an opportunity. Guys, go and review the other lists that I have, and I'll throw them up here on the screen. Oklo, you can see Oklo, OKLO. HIMS responded and recovered today, guys. I told many of the group I talked to, guys, HIMS is the way to go. Buy HIMS because it's going to recover, okay? It hit this low down here of $41.56, went all the way up today to $46.80, $5 swing. At 40-something bucks a share, even if you don't have a huge account, you're right. I'm not a whale. I'm trading, between 15 to 30,000, depending on what's in powder. Not huge, but I could have bought a ton of HIMS. Didn't buy it today because, to be honest with you, I was too busy looking at some of the other trades that I knew were going to run. But look at this. As a long-term hold, I don't think this is done, okay? This still has to get to, if we go to the daily chart, you can see that this still has not fully recovered from this drop, okay? It was at a high here of $72.98. It's only sitting at $46.28 right now. So it's still got a good way to recover, some more ground to move, and it's got a gap to fill right here. So some good opportunity with HIMS. Let me go back to my 15. QUBT, not something I would have traded today. It was kind of all over the place. Pony, and I have yet to kind of take a look and figure out what happened here. But look at this very slow upward upward momentum trend, and boom, hit this candle at 315, went from basically $12.84 to $15.18, and it's sitting up there. Not sure yet what that's all about, but a lot of stocks actually did that and responded that way in this in this AI tech sector. QBTS, not really one I was looking at today either. The one and only APLD, and then WeRide, WRD, also had a beautiful day and had that launch somewhere here. Same thing, 315. The market jumped up, went from $7.74, closed at $8.25. Okay, and guys, remember these are all the best day trade stocks I've been calling out to you guys. Ionic, same thing, early morning open, all the way up. Could have sniped it. Carnival Cruise, Carnival Corp had a beautiful run up today. And Intel sort of was, on an upward trend, but a little bit tough, including the end of day here. But you still could have made some money in there. And the high-priced ones, let's just look and see. I told you Tesla. So Tesla had a very nice run from 322 to a high of 331 today. And then it kind of spent a little bit of time up, and then it's worked its way back down. NVIDIA, who's making all-time highs, sitting at 154.83 right now. Palantir, look at this monster this morning, again on the 15-minute, came down and then came back up a little bit. AMD, that had a pretty hard drop today and then sort of ran horizontal. Hood, Robinhood, right, the trading app, on a pretty good upward trend mobility today. And then SMCI, same thing, upward trend, very good, a lot of money to be made. Which one did you guys pick? Which ones did you guys pick? Anyway, guys, if you're interested in learning more about the best day trade stocks, I've got a new list I'm working on, guys. We're going to change this up a little bit. There's a lot of new stocks I've been doing research on, trending over 30 days. I'm ready to launch some of them, so be sure to tune in to some of my next videos and take a look at those. In the meantime, guys, thanks for joining. Please hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time we upload a new video. And guys, hit me down in the comments. Let me know what's going on. Talk to me. I appreciate it. Josh out. Peace.